Well, now that Simon Gordon's here, we gotta start. What is going on, everybody? It is today, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Today is Thursday, I have to look it up, February 10th, or I guess February 9th for you guys. It's 9 a.m. here in Tokyo, Japan, and we are here with Hyread. Not the guys, I mean, we have met them on one occasion, but we're here with the Hyread Gaze SC Color. Why is this amazing? Because it's a color e-reader, not an e-note, not a note-taking mega giant, not a monitor, not a tablet with this, that, and the other thing fully loaded to the T. This one is an actual ebook reader, and it is kind of harking back to the... Do I have audio here? I do. It's kind of harking back to the iReader C6 that kind of started the second wave of color back in 2019. Color took a huge break from 2013 all the way to 2019. The first wave of color with the pocketbook color, the Hanvon, the Jetbook Color 2, the Jetbook Color 1, that was all Wave 1. And then they took this huge break, and then they went over to Wave 2. Hello, Nicholas Pinotti. Hello, Simon Gordon, and Stephen Prossman. Mission. Oh, yeah, you are in Mission. That's right. I was actually looking for... if I... Oh, Brazil! Cool! If... I were to live anywhere in the Lower Mainland, it actually would be out in Maple Ridge Mission area because, it's just too expensive to go to Vancouver, Coquitlam, Burnaby. If you guys don't know about Vancouver, it's basically to get a plot of land and a rat shack house, it costs you around $2 million. And that's CAD, USD. I mean, it's expensive. So we actually sold my family's house, a complete teardown, a small plot of land for like 1.4. So it's not cheap. So anyway, Stephen Prosser's got the idea there, being out in Mission. Mission's a suburb of Vancouver. Now, this is the Hyread, guys. This is really nice. This is doing some things that people aren't now. And why this is because it has auto rotate number 1. That's really cool. It's very fast. And it has an SD card and a 3.5mm headphone jack and USB-C, and the back is a different color. You might think these are little tiny fundamental things that people should have on all their e-readers, but the reality is that they don't. Right now, we are seeing a trend of just e-notes. 7 inches, 7.8s, Amazon with the 10.2, 10.3s out the wazoo with everyone trying to compete in the space. Huawei, Lenovo with 2 different models, an international release and a Chinese English release. So it's actually refreshing to see an e-reader. Like, I'm not even joking. Do you know the last time we got a freaking e-reader here at Good E-Reader? We were talking about it when we were setting up this live, how much of an actual joke it was that we were going live today with an e-reader. Because everything we've had are e-notes, 7.8 with Wacom stylus, active capacitor with a quadruple A battery, Google Play enabled 13.3, and those are great. I love those all day long. But when's the last time we saw an ebook reader? Here it is. This is the Hyread SC. I think it's called the SC1. It's called the SC1? I gotta look that up. I think it's called the... It is. It's the Hyread 1, O-N-E, SC Color. And this is an actual... No, Steven, it doesn't have Google Play. And that's almost a good thing. Seriously, it's almost a good thing they don't have Google Play, because I don't look at this as a tablet, which is great. I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go read my books, and that's a good thing. I think that's great to have this in the game. A color e-reader, actual color e-reader. It's becoming funny in our industry that there's just not really any e-readers anymore. There's the Kindle. They'll last until the day they die. There's Kobo, sure, Barnes & Noble, but outside the big 3, it's just Pocketbook making e-readers. Onyx doesn't even technically have an e-reader. Yeah, they got the Leaf, which is kind of an e-reader. They got the Nova Air, which is like a flat, no SD card, kind of an e-reader, but they all either have note-taking or Google Play or Android 11 or all these kind of hyper features. So it's kind of nice to just sit back, cool down, and see something like that is just going to allow you to read your books. And it's cool because it's got color. And you know what? The background is gray, but that's what is happening with Kaleido right now. You don't get that gray background on gallery, which I know Simon Gordon's here to hear all about, but we're not ready on the gallery yet. I'll talk about gallery in the last 4 minutes of this, so stick around for another 20 there, Simon. Let's go to some questions here. Stephen Prosser, whoa, does this have SD? Yes, it does. I love the idea of colored pure e-reader with a Wacom layer. Without a Wacom layer, Stephen says. Correct. No Wacom layer. So what you find when you don't have a Wacom layer, I'm going to get like a pointer tool here, aka a pen, is that when you look at the elements, it's hard to see through a crappy webcam on, 1080p, but it feels like everything's closer to the surface, because when you have a Wacom digitizer in there, it's a physical piece of plastic and resin that goes over the screen. And then you need to put something on top so you make sure all of your writing doesn't dent the actual materials. So there's a lot more that goes into a Wacom layer versus something like this, which is aka exposed flush screen and bezel. Danky Frankie says the problem with not having Google Play is that you're relying on the software, this e-reader. Is it any good? Can you change it? Yes, you're relying on the software. Yes, it is good. No, you cannot change it. This is the software. I get it, Danky Frankie. Just about, I mean, you know what? The industry's changed, man. 90% of people want Google Play. They do. And that's why more manufacturers have Google Play now. MeBook, Hyread, not this one, Onyx, Dasong, Bigme. A lot of manufacturers have Google Play now because people know they want it. There's not really a reason to not have Google Play anymore. It really isn't, because we got Google Play, you got millions of apps. I can put on Moon Plus Reader, I can put on Aldeco, I can put Barnes & Noble on this. But with this, you can't, because it's just the Hyread software. Yes, it's good. Yes, it's nice. You do have the ability to go to a store. You can go to over your library. It's pretty quick for an e-reader. Honestly, the C6 by iReader is good, but it was laggy. And the C1 by iFlyTech, really the only two e-readers out right now, were pretty slow. Even the Pocketbook Color was kind of slow. This one's not bad. Tetra Punk Choki Milk. Cool name. Why is there no one creates ebook with solar? Yeah, it's a good idea. That's a good idea. You know, I think it would be the fit and finish of it all. To get enough power, you would either need, and this is true, because we have solar panels. There's a solar panel right there. I'm not even joking. I use it to power my stuff in my office. I'm not joking. When you have a solar device, if you want to be all push your glasses up into the bridge of your nose with tape around it, smart about it, you have to have your panels either in the best degree of sunlight throughout the day or point it directly at the sun at any given time. If you tilt your panel down to an extreme, you rotate the axis down. So if the sun is here, you know what? Actually, here, let's use my lights as an example. That would be ideal. That would be, 0 degrees of mistake. But as the sun moves, it's like, oh, I gotta move it. You know what I mean? Or if it's too far down, that might not be the best thing. So we have had, actually back in 2013, we had a agreement with a company that made a solar case, but we found that you would either have to read it like this, oh no, and follow the sun, or have the solar panels around the bezel, and then that would affect the fit and finish, and it would be like, okay, I'm reading my book. Oh yeah, it's a good book. I can't really see it. You know what I mean? So at this current state, it's not really feasible to have solar to power the device. Solar to maybe charge it in its downtime, yes. But solar to charge it actively while you're reading, not really. Nicholas Pinotti, I discovered a new Boyu, the Lemon Reeds S62. Have you heard of it? Yes, we have Lemon Reeds, and we're actually the only people in the North American world, English-speaking world, to sell Lemon Reed. We have them on hand. We have them in stock in our Vancouver office. I think in our Oak Park, Illinois office as well. We have those, and yeah, they got like little funky cotton candy cases and stuff like that. Andrea Gianni, does it have any app different than reading? No, it doesn't. If I go to settings, which looks like the little app wheel, it doesn't have any. And then when you go to more, it's just a standard kind of e-book reader layout. Unfortunately, no, they don't have any things like fun chess and scribble. They have calendar, and they got photos. Actually, you know what? I don't know what that is. Signature. Create your own personalized signature. Add your... What? Favorite or add your favorite sentences. Select a good sentence in the book. Oh, you can... Oh, I see. You just set it as your sleep screen. I actually didn't notice that. Yeah, they don't really have any applications outside of just kind of the standard reading, but you can do little things like you can change the display screen, you can change the standby screen, the power off screen, things like that. Thank you, Frankie. I'm okay with that Google Play as long as the reader is good. The pocketbook color was unusable for comic books. I got the ink note. That's a good one. Danky knows what he's talking about there. See, when you are selective about ebook readers, not an Onyx tablet with Google Play, because that's just different. You have to really see the experiences like we're showing you today when it comes to things like that. Because, and we're going to get into it right now. Enough talking. I've been answering questions and stuff. Because when it comes to things like that, you're locked in. You can't download Adobe. You can't download anything else. So we're just going to look at some PDFs here and just scan through while we're chatting. So if you swipe it like that, that's what a PDF is looking at. Now, don't buy this if you're like, oh, I have my medical practice, I need a PDF reader. Do not buy this. You don't want to buy anything south of a 13.3 for your actual bread and butter. Textbooks at university, medicine, music sheets, if you're a producer, don't do it, because it's dangerous that everything will be basically scaled down to an extreme degree. This is very scaled down. I can't read any of it. You know what I mean? I have to pinch and zoom. And pinch and zoom is pretty quick for an e-reader, especially in color. So it's really not that bad. And it's not... This isn't surprising anybody. We're not looking at this and going, oh man, it's slow. Because no, it's directly in tune with how fast an actual ebook reader is. It's as fast as a Kindle. You know what I mean? Like if you compare this to a Kindle, it's as fast as that. Except this one's in color. Color looks pretty good. I must say it's not bad. Although I find it a little bit strange how they went with Kaleido 2. Because they already had the Gaze Note color with the stylus layer with Kaleido 2. And Readmoo, with Moo Ink, already released Kaleido 3. So why would you go with Kaleido 2 on this? Same with Bigme. Bigme made that mistake on the S6 color. They went with Kaleido 2. A little bit of a weird choice. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe because the panels were cheaper, maybe because it's tried and tested, and maybe because you don't take that much of a hit on PPI decreases. With Kaleido 3, you actually cut the PPI by 1/3. So if your PPI is 300, your color PPI is only 100, but you don't have such a trade-off with Kaleido 2. Is it good for comic books, good refresh, etc.? Well, this is basically the exact same as a comic book. A lot of comic books are in PDF format, so this is what it would look like. I'm reading my Archie comics or Sonic the Hedgehog at the Safeway checkout while you're waiting to buy your eggs, and this is what it's going to look like. So it has the odd flash every once in a while, which you can change, actually. You can change the refresh right... display and reading, and right there. Refresh frequency. Default is going to refresh it as it feels necessary, as it deems that it needs a refresh. You also have every single page, or Regal, which is really going to reduce a lot of the staining and everything, but it will be much slower, so you can do that. I like to keep it on default. I like that. You also have a bunch of different things here with contrast, vibrancy, brightness, and saturation. You can change those as much as you want. A lot of different customization. And you could turn the glow light on. Is it a bit too small for graphic novels? I believe it is too small for graphic novels because it's a 6-inch. And you know what? Even Amazon's not really dabbling in 6 inches as much of a priority as everything else, with their Scribe being 10.2 and their Oasis being 7 and their Paperwhite being 6.8. Most of their lineup is no longer 6 inches. So, actually, you know what? A lot of companies don't even make 6 inches anymore. Bigme doesn't even make a 6. They make a 7. A lot of manufacturers stay away from 6 because it is a little too small. Yes, it would be small for graphic novels and comic books. Is it good for reading? Yeah, it's a small, kind of disposable, I hate to say it, e-reader for just reading. You go like this, you're like, reading my book. Gets the job done. It does its purpose. It doesn't have to do anything north of that, but it does. It gives you, a little bit of things here and there, and it gives you calendar, and it gives you auto rotate. So the SD card for added boost of space, and you have a 3.5mm headphone jack. That's kind of weird to have a headphone jack, don't you think? I think so. And honestly, we live in a tough world right now. Oh yeah, how do I increase that? I have to actually press the A? Oh, I press the bars. Okay. We live in a tough world right now when it comes to e-readers because everything needs to default to it being a hyper tablet with speed modes and Google Play and audio. And if you don't have that, people look down on it. And it's true. It's the truth. That's why when people ask us about the Quaderno and Supernote and Remarkable and all these manufacturers that just don't do anything, we have to be truthful about it. And we say there's very limited things you can do with these manufacturers. Same with this. Is there anything you can do outside of reading? Not really. No. Is the store, the Kindle store, the Kobo store with Rakuten and millions of titles? Millions of titles maybe, but it's all in Taiwanese. So, and you can't sideload Kindle in. So does that mean that we should immediately dismiss this because it doesn't hit these few things that the vast majority of people want? In a way it might, but at the same point, there needs to be room for players like this. There needs to be room for players that don't have to be an all-in-one mega tablet to be feasible for people to buy. I mean, not everyone can be first place, so you just have a bunch of people standing around with gold medals, and then the standard changes. So you need to have players like Hyread that will release things in color with Google Play and Wacom, and then also release things like this that are just a little bit more simplistic and have a single-use case, single-use purpose. That's kind of what we're looking at here. It says they have new libraries, but it's not like a Kobo where you connect to Overdrive when you can connect to like the Chicago library and the Vancouver library. You just can't do that. This is a Taiwanese only device kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of where we stand. I don't think there's a drop down because the settings takes the grunt of the drop down. If you click settings, it's a pull up kind of thing. Also, I don't know why it says cold because you can't change the light to warm. So I think it's just telling you that it's the cold light. Like that's the only one on there installed. Andrew Giuliani, well, if you're interested in reading, I think this would be a good option, especially if it costs less, I think. Yes, I'm going to stall, Andrea, because I don't know how much it cost. I really don't. I took a step back from the store. I don't really do any of the store stuff anymore. I don't know how much this is. Yeah, see, the Readmoo Mooink Plus 2C is already employing Kaleido 3 on it. So the Hyread to come out with Kaleido 2 is weird. I don't know why that is. There it is. Oh, $249. So in the world of color, it's cheap. In the world of e-readers, it's expensive. So if you're looking at this from an e-reader perspective, don't buy it. I don't want you to buy it because you're just going to have problems. You're going to be like, $250 for this? You know, it's just going to be a waterfall of complaints. But if you want a color e-reader, this is not bad. Yeah, this is right in line with it where it needs to be, because I believe if you look at the Ink Note, no, wait, not the Ink Note, the Ink Pad by Pocketbook, I believe that's significantly more money than this. So the Ink Pad Color is $300. So yeah, it's $50 more for just a bigger screen. So it's in line with how much it should be. Is it a absolute rock bottom bargain color device? No, because that doesn't technically exist right now. Color is expensive, and that's the truth of it all. Is that color is very expensive. You're not going to find a cheap color e-reader that has any sort of clout behind it. It's just going to be expensive. Whether you get the good e-reader Ink Note Color, which is expensive, you get the Onyx Books Nova Air C, that's $419. You get the what else is color right now? Well, basically Big Me's the only guy that's doing color. You get the Mooink. I think the Mooink with Kaleido 3, in fact, is significantly more. I think it's like $500. Yeah, the Mooink Plus 2C is $500. So like, in line with the reality of color, yeah, this is cheap. Is he using CYMK or RGB? Oh, sorry, just joined in. Wii 14. It is, you said it is, what is the size? 6-inch. And Tetrapunk Chalky Milk, is it using CYMK or RGB? I don't know which one it's using, because a lot of manufacturers now, no, it's Kaleido Plus. CYMK. Because a lot of manufacturers now are using different things like, what do you call, Carta integrations and on-cell touch. So a lot of it is quite changed, but if I look at the sheet I am looking at in terms of the sheet that Hyread supplied us for the review and everything like that, Kaleido Plus 2.0 CMYK. So CMYK is what they are using for this. It's not RGB. So you get cyan, magenta, yellow, and K, which is black. So I knew that. No, I didn't. I don't know everything offhand, but that's what they gave us. So yeah, I guess we're 20 minutes in and there's no more questions. And honestly, I'm stretching it because this is. I could come here and be like, hey guys, it's an ebook reader, doesn't have Google Play. Bye. And just leave it here and be like, oh, okay, well, that's great. Yeah, because it really, not to dismiss it, but there's just really not a lot it can do. If this was black and white, this would be a $120 bill all day long. But have that color on there, you know, competing with the rest of the industry. Hyread wanting to make money as a company because they don't have a lot of after sales when it comes to international, you know, all that is, yeah, 250 bobos. Cody Rentas, this is off topic, but Azumo is making a 10.5 inch RLCD LCD color tablet. Do you know of anyone else making RLCD color tablets? No, I don't know anyone that is making specifically RLCD color tablets. RLCD has been employed with Hisense for quite some time in the Q5, and color tablets with e-paper alternatives have been employed via TCL, and Garmin does do a lot of work with MIP, which is memory in pixel, in which, let's use a phone, in which, oh, let me clear all my buddies saying stuff. MIP is where you have a image like this, and as long as the pixels don't need to move, they won't move and they won't consume battery. And they've employed this on a couple times on some of their smartwatches and navigation units and stuff like that. But in terms of what you were asking, Cody Rentas, color RLCD, I do not know. RLCD is very interesting, and if you go over to our site where you will see the Hisense Q5, the RLCD technology is really cool. It looks like you're looking at a piece of stamped metal, and it changes based on the light that reflects into it. It can be like bronze or silver or gold. It's quite interesting. Mistar Knox. Is this good for books but bad for comics? Oh, sorry, this is. You are absolutely correct. If you have books on here, there's going to be no problems. It's going to do exactly what it needs to do. It's fine. You're not going to go, oh man, how do I change the font size? No, you're never gonna run into that. Comics, yeah, because it doesn't have like a Kindle engine. You know, it doesn't have the Comixology guided view. You can't double tap on a slide on a cell and it guides you through it. It doesn't have the quick page turn engine that the Amazon Kindle manga model brought in 2015. It's missing a lot of that. So for comics and PDFs, no. But for e-reading, yeah, sure, all day long. And you can put a bunch of things in here. If you're just joining us, like you said, some of you are, you can put a SD card in it and put books on here all day long. Andrea says, okay, let's try to find something more. Does it have an experimental function like an internet browser, like Kobo has? You know, we've looked at it, and it doesn't seem to have that. But I haven't looked everywhere yet. So, for example, if I go to, like, About, I might find a link somewhere under rules and licenses. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Sometimes you do that, and it forces a jump to the web browser. And actually, I've never clicked on, what is it? Not the IP. I think it's the serial number a bunch of times, and it opens dev mode. I never did that yet. 10 times? Nope. Mac? Nope. Hyread version. And engine. And my... No, nothing seems to force dev mode either. So, yeah, unfortunately, Andrea, thank you very much. And that's why we do this with you guys, honestly, because we haven't done a review of this yet. So we're kind of learning about it, you know what I mean, together. And that's great. That's why we do this. Yeah, storage as well is very lacking. It is only 8 gigs, which, in fact, you only get 3.9, 3.7 after the application data. But you can throw an SD card in there. And honestly, SD cards are very cheap nowadays, so don't worry about that. Darn, I wish an 8-inch would be more normal instead of a 6. 6 is too close to mobile phone size. Or you can argue that mobile phone sizes are just getting too damn big recently. But you're right, man. I say, you know what? I'm a little desensitized to the screen sizes recently. I'm gonna say, you're right, man. 6 is just too small. Kindle realized that too. And one of the reasons they didn't want to cannibalize the basic with the Paperwhite is because they brought it was why they brought the Paperwhite to 6.8. If you had a Kindle Basic 2022 and a Kindle Paperwhite 5, they've crossed over, man. They've crossed the border between their Paperwhite line and their Basic line. Basic line has glow light, 300 ppi, text to speech, touchscreen. Why would you need a Paperwhite anymore? It's caught up. But they said, no, we're going to make the Kindle 5 bigger. It's like, oh, okay, now we can have both. Oh, yeah. So that's why even Amazon is not abandoning 6 inches, but they don't focus on 6 inches at all right now. Most of their lineup, that's really on paper, most of the Kindle lineup, 75% of it is bigger than 6 inches. All of their Fire tablets, they're all 8, 7, 10, 10.3, 10.2, I think. I think they have a 12. No, I think they have a 10.1. They've really abandoned the small screen sizes. You're absolutely correct. What we got here? Chinese branches provide good access to Chinese novels with good translation. You know what? It's kind of funny. Yeah, now that you said that, if you go to the store, you'll notice that it's pretty easy access. You go right to the store. Everything's ready. You click on, I don't know, this. I can't read any of it. Actually, maybe I can. Let's see what we got here. Sentence, down, laugh, down again. And then you got thing, 30, movement. Doesn't translate into Japanese very well. But yeah, look, you can preview it. Everything's in English, aside from the things you want to know. The title, the author, what it is, and what it's about. But everything around it, the elements are all in English. So it does kind of help you, but no. And actually, you know what? Now that you say it, you will find some English content on here. You will. It's just that it's a Taiwanese company. It's a Taiwanese country device. So it is a Taiwanese experience. Andrea says, just trying to find something more to say. Last thing that comes to mind is Audio Jack. Thinks it has audiobooks too. It does have audiobooks, Andrea, you're correct, and it does have TTS. So you can do all of that on here. You can do readback, you can do playback, you can do audiobooks. That's totally fine. So you are correct, but thank you, seriously, Andrea. I'll address you. Thank you very much for asking questions and helping us out and, you know, helping us guide through this, because a lot of you guys have insights that we don't know, that we don't see. So it does help that you guys are able to find things that, you know, help us out when we do the reviews and stuff like that. A couple more questions. Stephen Prosser, if you have a bunch of comics in CBZ and PDF, is there a particular app you should load them with that allows for guided view? No, because they won't have guided view. It won't do that, because that's something that the Amazon does. And the Kindle app does, not the actual file itself. Some files, I don't know, it can be formatted that way. For example, if you get a PDF, but it's an interactable PDF, depending on the unit, you can interact with certain elements. So if you had a calendar app, for example, and if you had a calendar PDF, like the Fujitsu scheduler, and you put that on, I'm trying to get to the damn calendar here. There we go. And you put that on a Kindle, you can actually tap the days and it'll go into the day. You can tap the month and it'll go into the month. You know what I mean? So there's certain ways you can format files from the get-go before you put it in that will allow you to do some things like that, but I'm not a programmer. I can't attest to that. Stephen Prosser, do you need to purchase from Kindle to have guided view? Again, that's going back to the first thing there. Wee 14. One thing I agree with you is that some wanted to be much more all-in-one. Yeah, they should focus on being an e-reader plus manga plus audio, which I think they're doing, because it is an e-reader, it is color, and it does have a lot of priority on audio. You don't tool in a 3.5mm headphone jack and build a headphone jack piece of hardware, solder it to the PCB, and expect people to just go, look around it. No, they're looking at that. They're like, oh, 3.5, plug, Sony headphones, yeah. So you can put music on this too, because basically it just does have a file browser. You basically go to your file browser and just choose whatever you want. So you put things in your import, and you see, it doesn't matter what you put where. It's just there as a pleasantry to organize things, but you can put PDFs in import and books in import on your PC here. You just go to the file browser and put whatever you want. You put music files on this. It reads a plethora of music files. That's it, everybody. And I'm going to talk to Simon Gordon here real quick, so everyone go away. No, I'm just kidding. Simon, man, I know you want to see the galley. We're working diligently on the galley. We are working diligently with Pocketbook as well. As you guys may know, they sent us their only prototype. Well, the only prototype they have for testing outside of their own company is with us right now. So we are working on everything with them, working on everything with Big Me. We're releasing our own gallery. The thing with gallery right now is that it looks like a magazine. It looks so good. I'm not going to lie. You look at it and you're like, wow. You say wow, because you didn't think paper electronically could look that good. But that's where it ends. If you touch it, you're like, oh, look at all the staining. Oh, it's taking so long. So there's a lot to go with software on gallery devices. But a lot of companies are doing gallery. We're doing gallery. Bigme's doing gallery. Pocketbook's doing gallery. Sharp, which is a multinational conglomerate, is doing gallery. They were the first ones to do gallery. We saw them at a trade show. It's on our YouTube channel. So, gallery's coming, whether you like it or not. Andrea Giugiani may be off topic. Is Hisense planning on releasing a color device with their form factor? Man, I really wish. Oh, and hello if you're closing. Hey, man, I wish Hisense get back to color. They haven't abandoned color, but they certainly haven't been prioritizing it. They always did a color variant of every one of their devices. They did the A5, A5C, A5 Pro, A5 Pro CC, A7, A7CC. But then they just stopped. They went A9, 4 different sizes, nothing. They went Hyreader, Hyreader Pro, Hyreader Palace Edition, no color. Hisense, Hyreader. And then Hisense Touch Museum, Hisense Touch Lite, no color. So they had 3 other units, the Hisense Touch, Hyreader, Hyreader Pro, and the A9, and they've done nothing with color. I don't know why. We talk to Hisense very frequently. They just say they have no information for us right now. I believe that everyone's just waiting on Kaleido 3. That's what's happening right now. Everyone has to wait on Kaleido 3 because it doesn't make any sense to go to the market with Kaleido 2. It makes sense to go to the market with Gallery right now because no one's doing Gallery except a very few small players. That is it, everybody. We're all done. Oh, we got this. Nicholas Pinotti, if they had Google Play, it'd be so great. Like you said, everyone's going Google Play. You are correct, Nicholas, but they don't have Google Play, but it's still good. Even Hisense would have Google Play. A lot of people would change their phones. I'm not saying everyone would because I wouldn't. It's still not as fast, but a Hisense A7 CC in speed mode that had Google Play, that'd be pretty damn nice. I would say, I don't know if I can pocket it just yet. I still love LCD LED, but you know what? I said this a couple of lives ago. I have been reading and using my phone before I go to sleep. I use a Hisense Touch. Where is it actually? I just charged it and I put my Amazon Music on it. It's over there somewhere. I use a Hisense Touch because then I'm just looking at a piece of paper before I go to sleep. Everyone uses their phone before they go to sleep. So I'm just like, okay, I actually feel a little bit better than having basically staring at a light bar. That's what we're doing when we all go to bed. We're staring at a bar of light. It's displaying things in an order that makes us go, wow, look at that. That person's falling down a flight of stairs. It's so funny. Oh, I love Instagram stories, all that stuff. But anyways, guys, you guys have been fantastic. We 14, Stephen Prosser, Nicholas Pinotti, Andrea Giugiani, Stephen Prosser, I said that already, and Mistar Noxus, Cody Rentas, Danky Frankie, and Tetra Punk Chalky Milk, Amol